And now, on Peacekeepers Live, an interview with Rory Wade. Rory is the National President of AIESEC UK, the world's largest youth-led organisation seeking to achieve peace and the fulfilment of humankind's potential. Rory has also worked with peace-building organisations such as Solutions, Not Sides. Let's welcome Rory. Thank you for joining us today at Peacekeepers Live.
Hi, Jeremy.
It's so good to see you. I met you a while. I remember giving a talk for AIESEC many years ago, and you were the person looking after me. And I never forgot you, and you've done such amazing things, mate.
Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you.
Well done. Your parents and all your mates must be very proud. I'm one of them. I'm very proud. Well done.
Thank you.
President of AIESEC. Incredible. So, look, tell me, how did you become the National President of AIESEC?
So AIESEC is a global youth leadership organisation run entirely by youth for youth. And so we operate at different university campuses. So when I was studying at Cardiff Uni, I decided to join. And every role in AIESEC is 1 year long so that we can give all young people the chance to develop leadership skills. And so when my time came, I ran for president. We were accredited by World Blue as one of the world's most democratic workplaces. And we also like to do things a bit more unorthodox, given that we're run by youth. So the way in which we announce a president is by pouring a bucket of water over them. So a very intense experience. But I think what kind of drew me into AIESEC was, in general, my fascination with the world and with peace building. And so there's been other organizations I've also worked with. And I think from that, I've really concluded that it's human interactions that, in my view, are one of the biggest keys to peace building. So another organization I've worked with is Solutions, Not Sides, and they bring Israeli and Palestinian peace activists to the UK to speak to young people about their experiences and about the needs for solutions and for critical thinking to build peace. There's also Just Like Us, which is the young people's LGBT plus charity, and I'm an ambassador for them, and we go into schools to combat homophobia by giving human interactions to young people and showing them role models and knowing that there is a better world outside there. And finally, Stand Up Against Discrimination, another amazing organisation who go into schools to talk about anti-discrimination, talk about particularly anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, just with that belief that directly talking about stereotypes can counter discrimination.
Wow, man, you're just awesome, aren't you? I love it. I love the amazing things that you do. So, like, I want to ask you the other questions that I'm supposed to ask you. So I'll ask you something like, where's it going to end up? Where are you going to go with all of these amazing skills? Do you have a sort of a dream of a place that you'd like to end up and work?
I can't yet. I think I've been prolonging my youth as much as I can and avoiding kind of a specific job. And that's the beauty of AIESEC, is with the 1 year role, you can just try new things and become any sort of person you want to be. I think I just want to be someone that really makes a difference in the world and leaves a legacy and doesn't just get angry by things I see, but actually acts upon them.
Yeah. So you're taking your time. You're helping a lot of people.
Yes.
And then you'll decide where you're going to end up. Beautiful. Just let it all happen, eh?
Yeah.
That's wise, man. I wish I'd have done that. Anyway, so what are young people really thinking in relation to inheriting a situation where we're destroying our planet, killing each other, creating AI that could take our jobs and pose a serious threat? I mean, are young people coping with this?
A very heavy question there. AI, gosh, I haven't even used ChatGPT yet, and I'm terrified about the rise of AI. I think there's a certain restlessness with young people right now, because we've inherited a situation where we're now firsthand seeing a lot of the damaging effects of those things you've mentioned. We had the heat wave last summer. We probably, in our generation, we're going to see an island nation called Tuvalu sink. And so there's a sense of kind of enough is enough, and we can't afford to sit on our backs during this. We have to do something. And I think particularly in 2020, there was a real boom of social awareness amongst young people, particularly on social media, with COVID, the sense of solidarity that gave, and with that came Black Lives Matter, the Sarah Erevard case, and it was just a restlessness to act. We couldn't avoid the harsh realities of our society and of injustice, but it was also hard to avoid taking action upon it. And even though that's died down, I think the legacies are there, and I think they'll show once young people like us start running for office and translate our anger into something productive. So yeah, I think those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, with AIESEC, that community is so supportive of one another. I mean, it's a peace-building organisation promoting young people to go out there and manifest a more peaceful and sustainable world. So, what an incredible support system to have for young people. But I'm also, I'm also thinking about the young people who might not have the opportunity to have done such a thing. And I mean, of course, you're mixing with them. I was wondering, how they were and what the sort of view is there.
Absolutely. I mean, AIESEC believes that leadership can be developed in anyone, anywhere, and that's our mission. We imagine, what if every young person was impacted by AIESEC? What kind of world would that create and such? I think young people do feel a frustration that I think objectively it is, and structurally it's quite harder for us to be in this position to make power, and it's about us being able to reach those who can, and that's where AIESEC comes in. It's a platform, but also it could be said that maybe it's not AIESEC itself that'll change the world due to that limitation, but the people who go through experiences who do. And one of the primary ways in which you operate is sending young people on volunteer and internship projects abroad. However, we recognize not everyone has the privilege to do that, so we also run events that inspire young people. You came to one of our conferences, incredibly inspiring, and also have a membership program on campuses, believing that anyone can develop leadership skills.
Yeah, I mean, can you tell us about a little bit more about the mission? What is the mission statement of AIESEC?
So AIESEC was born out of the ashes of World War II by a group of young people who believed that cross-cultural understanding and youth leadership was needed to prevent further conflict. And so I mentioned the three primary ways we do that. How I see it manifesting itself, I think, is moments. I mean, the organization globally is turning 75 this year, and in the UK we're turning 70. And there's just some incredible moments from our history that testify our mission. So, for example, in South Africa, during the apartheid era, AIESEC actively defied the apartheid laws by allowing black and white students to mix together because we put our mission and our values first. I think of Bosnia and Herzegovina, where during the war, they sort of helped young people get through sort of the barracks and the no man's land in order to go on exchanges abroad. And then I think also of Colombia, where former FARC guerrilla soldiers, child soldiers, were sent on our volunteer projects abroad, all of which work on the Sustainable Development Goals, and all of which allow you to interact with other young people from around the world. And finally, I think of my experience in Malaysia, where I went to teach English to Chin refugees from Myanmar, giving them an opportunity at life and seeing what there could be beyond the eyes of, the experience of being a refugee. And I remember, besides that, I traveled one weekend with another AIESEC volunteer, two, one from Japan and one from Germany. And suddenly I realized, a Brit, a Japanese and a German, 80 years ago, our families were at war with each other. And here we are not even thinking about it. We're in this neutral environment working for a common goal. And it's just moments like that are so powerful. Similarly, how AIESEC in Bosnia is one of the few ways in which Bosniaks, Croats and Serbs can meet each other when they were at war with each other 2 decades ago. And finally, I see it in individuals. The founder of AIESEC UK, Lionel Simmons, his family unfortunately were killed in the Holocaust in Ukraine. And he came here as an evacuee, and yet he translated that trauma into something powerful by building AIESEC in the UK to facilitate cross-cultural understanding. My friend, who was the president of AIESEC in Armenia, had to end his term early because he was sent to war and nearly died, and yet he messaged me afterwards to say that he now believes in the need for peace more than ever before. So that's just a few examples of how AIESEC creates peace builders for the future.
And how many members are there of AIESEC?
In the UK, we have about 250 members who are contributing towards our mission. Globally, at one point, we were at least 30,000 young people around the world. And we believe that in these 75 years, we've impacted at least 1 million young people.
And how can one join? How can one become involved?
Simply you could go on www.aiesec.org, that's AIESEC, where you can find all of our volunteer and internship abroad opportunities. If you're a UK student, you can join us up in September if we're at one of your campuses. So you can go to joinaisec.co.uk, or even connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to find out more about opportunities with AIESEC.
And your LinkedIn address?
Just Rory Wade.
Fantastic.
Find it on the website.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we'll do that. I mean, could you tell me a little bit about, if you could speak to a young person who was feeling maybe lost or looking for direction, what words of encouragement or inspiration would you say to a young person who's about to embark on their journey but is feeling a bit disillusioned by it all?
I would say, I think something I mentioned earlier was, there's a lot of things that make young people angry. I fully understand that, but it's what are you going to do about it? When you feel that anger about injustice and a lack of peace in the world, what are you going to do? And I believe it's about translating anger into something positive. As long as you're working towards something and making the world a better place, at least you're doing something. There was a quote I once heard, which is, it's not everything, but it's not nothing. And I think we often feel, set back by all the events that go on in the world, or the way that maybe certain elections go, or certain world events go. But as long as there's some hope there and some spark, then it's progress. I think of the Israeli and Palestinian peace activists I made, and I can see, the helplessness that they may feel with what goes on politically over there. But there was something powerful about showing those two people around London and them enjoying each other's company, and what that could at least create, and knowing that it's not everything, but it's not nothing, and how those people could be the leaders of tomorrow.
Okay. If you had one wish to make something happen in relation to humanity's survival, it's massive, but what would it be?
I would say there's two elements of what I want most in the world. I think one is critical thinking. I feel that there's been an incredible boom of social awareness, but an incredible boom of misinformation, and I feel that is a hindrance towards peace. And I feel that people often want to stay in their bubbles and in their comfort zones, and that's quite an issue in my view. So it's to get people to think more critically and to counter misinformation on social media. And secondly is just peace building. My family were of Northern Irish origin, and they suffered the effects of conflict there. And that just gave me this urge to bring peace to other places, because unfortunately my granddad passed away before he could see peace in Northern Ireland. And that is a very sad thing to me, and I just want to ensure no one else experiences that. So it's about critical thinking, and it's about peace building everywhere in the world.
So thank you so much, firstly, for being here today. It was amazing speaking with you. Really good luck on your journey. I hope it goes well. Thank you, Rory, for coming in.
Thanks for having
me. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything that you do.